back to Super DC Gaming, everyone. So, in preparation for the release of LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, I decided that I'm going to do a 4-video series reviewing the 1989 to 1997 Batman film series, the 2 Tim Burton ones and the 2 Joel Schumacher ones, because I think these 4 are my personal favorite era of Batman films. So I decided, why not? Let's start reviewing these, considering I've shown how much I love them. So for the first one, we're going to be reviewing the original Batman. We're not going to call it Batman 89 because no other Batman film is just called Batman. So we'll just call it Batman. Now, Batman from 1989. It's my second favorite Batman movie. You'll know what my second one is. My first one is, but I rank Batman 89 with the Burton duology above the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm sorry, Nolan fanboys, but yeah, I like Jack Nicholson's Joker more than Heath Ledger's Joker, and I like Michael Keaton's Batman more than Christian Bale. So, which, fun fact, the Burton duology is the Batman media I have the most merch of. You can see that Michael Keaton Batman picture up there. But I'm not going to show every bit of merch because I'll show that another time. But this is another piece of merch I have, which is this Batman 89 script book, which I thought this is pretty cool. But anyways, with that out of the way, let's get to the review. So, it was 1989. Because of the release of comics like The Killing Joke and The Dark Knight Returns, Batman was transitioning from the campy era of the 1960s to a more serious, dark tone during the 80s with the release of them 2 comics. And so, they decided to celebrate the character's 50th anniversary, which was 1989. They decided to make a feature film, which of course was Batman. This movie stars Michael Keaton as Batman, Jack Nicholson as Joker, Kim Basinger as Vicky Vale, Michael Gough as Alfred, Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon, and I forgot who plays Alexander Knox, but those are the characters. Whenever Keaton was cast as Batman, because he was in films like Mr. Mom, what else was he in? Well, that's the only one I can think of. But because before Batman in 1989, he was in comedic films, and because of that, the casting of Michael Keaton received backlash because people didn't think he could play a serious role. Because, yeah, he just couldn't play a serious role. In fact, there was actually, letters sent to Warner Brothers demanding that they recast Keaton because they just couldn't see him playing the role of Batman. Well, whenever, the film came out, he proved them all wrong. And you see the marketing for this movie. The marketing for the movie was absolutely crazy. We like to call it Batmania. There was t-shirts, people getting tattoos, merchandise, etc. It was all over the place. In 1999, you could not go anywhere without this movie being advertised anyway, which was awesome. So, let's get to the review. So, in terms of direction, because this is one of Tim Burton's first films, he captures the comic book aesthetic really well for this movie. Gotham has the perfect comic book aesthetic, unlike the Nolan films, because the Nolan films are very unstylized to the point that you can't really call them Batman films because they're unstylized or they are. And of course, can't make a Batman 89 review without talking about this, but Danny Elfman's music. You know what I'm talking about. You've heard the music before in Lego Batman games, in just any time, like mainly the Lego Batman games, but you've heard Danny Elfman's Batman music before, but specifically the intro, you've just heard it before. Danny Elfman was a genius with making Batman music, because and see the 1989 logo, perfectly iconic. This logo is still used for the character even to this day. So in the film, it opens up with the two muggers, mugging a family. You think it's going to be the Batman origin, because, you have the two parents and then the kid. But then it doesn't kill them. The parents don't get killed. Instead, they, get looted. And then the two criminals are, on top of the rooftop. And one of them's going, you shouldn't have turned the gun like Kid Man. Because then, the criminal thinks that Batman's going to get them because they talk about Johnny Gops, which was presumably a guy that Batman had caught. But then the other guy doesn't believe in Batman. Which then, a few seconds later, Batman himself shows up. And he kicks their asses, both of them. And then, the way, the Batsuit is, this is, my personal Batsuit ever made in any type of Batman media. Just captures that Batman feel perfectly. So then we cut to later on the film, Batman stops a crime scene because there's this guy, Carl Grissom. One of his henchmen, Jack Napier, was sleeping with his wife. So Carl wanted to have Jack killed as revenge, but little did he know what would happen. So whenever Jack does this crime scene, he's confronted with Batman, and you've seen the film before, so what happens is, Batman pushes Jack, well, not pushes, but Jack falls into the vat of chemicals, and he becomes the Joker. Now, Jack Nicholson's Joker captured, in terms of live action, because not Mark Hamill, I'm talking about live action, Jack Nicholson captures the Joker perfectly. He has the look, he has the look, the laughing gas, just everything you expect comic Joker to do, he captures it perfectly. He's both funny and intimidating. He's just exactly what the Joker needs to be. He's not like Heath Ledger, who's just this edgelord clown who tries to be funny. He's not Joaquin Phoenix, who I'm not a fan of. He's just the Joker. Another point of fact I want to talk about the film is the vehicles. We all know the Batmobile. The Batmobile in this film, hands down, my favorite Batmobile ever made. It's not like an overcomplicated, clunky vehicle like the Tumbler. It's not a militarized tank type thing like the Arkham Knight Batmobile or BVS. It just is designed like how a Batmobile should look. It has that sort of normal car feel, but then it also has the feel of something Batman would own. So it's it just captures, it has the best Batmobile in live action ever. Bruce Wayne in this film is also in terms of how you can separate between Bruce Wayne and Batman, it comes off as brilliant because Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, with the other live action Batman, you could pinpoint that they are Bruce Wayne, except, well, actually, no, never mind that. Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne, is the only live action one who you would not guess is Batman. The others I could guess, but Keaton would come as a legit surprise. Because he acts so different as Bruce Wayne than he does Batman. He comes across so just, charming and likable to the point that you don't really, you might feel some stuff about him, but you wouldn't guess that he's Batman. Yeah, so, this film, I know some people give this film flack for having the Joker have an origin, but for a bit of trivia, that origin is inspired by the man behind the Red Hood story comic from the 50s, I believe that was in, which I thought was pretty cool. You have the stuff Joker does. You have the Smilex commercial, like with like that thing that you have that causes people to die laughing and have like that permanent grin on their faces. And then because Keaton recently was in Beetlejuice, there's one scene in it in Batman 89 that has a thing he's got like Beetlejuice, and that's the iconic "You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts." Whenever he has that, it feels like he's about to go full Beetlejuice because he's calm 1 minute, then the second he goes full psycho, like breaking the vase and trying to challenge Jack Nicholson's Joker to a fight. And then how they realize that in this film, Jack Napier is the one who killed Bruce's parents, and the way that they have that realized is whenever Jack Napier killed Bruce's parents, he said, "You ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" So whenever Joker says that to Bruce Wayne when he visits his house, he says it again, and then Keaton's like, "What?" But he says it as like the way he says it in like a "where have I heard that before" kind of way. And then like later on in the film, he realizes that the Joker is the guy who killed his parents. And then like there's actually 3 different confrontation variants of Batman and the Joker in this film. First, there's one where it's Batman and Jack Napier. Then it's Bruce Wayne and the Joker. And then finally at the end, it's Batman and the Joker. Which is pretty clever, because like you're saving like when the two finally, in their iconic forms like this, face to face. Kim Basinger is Vicky Vale. She was good for what she was, but like the only thing I like, she screamed a lot in the film, so it's not like she had like a humongous part. Well, she did have like a part in it, but that's like the one I memorize really the most about her is just her screaming. I mean, like, you all know what that is. And also, whenever you have, what else is there? And while this film is directed by Tim Burton, while it still has that Tim Burton-y feeling, it didn't have the full-on Tim Burton feel, because that wouldn't be until Batman Returns. But still, this film is very Tim Burton-y. And it's a film that's not afraid to be a comic book, because, like, it's not trying to be too realistic. It has all the fantastical stuff in it. It's not afraid to be a comic book. And then you have and we're going to talk about the scene where Joker enters the museum and tries to talk with Vicky Vale. That's been recreated in Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, because they posted that like trailer for it with Joker entering the museum. And this film has sort of the camp of the comics, because it's like, a fun fact about the movie, by the way, is the batsuit Keaton wore, it was so stiff and like so tight, he couldn't turn his head without having to move his entire body around. Like, he had to actually turn his entire body around if he wanted to do something as simple as look to the right or something, because of how tight the suit was. And also, Billy D. Williams plays Harvey Dent in this movie, and had Burton not left after Batman Returns, Billy D. Williams would have played Two-Face, but we'll touch more on that in the Batman Forever review. So, yeah, about the, like, Keaton not being able to move his head, is like, he also said that when the suit was so tight, it caused him to be dizzy and stuff like that. And he actually had to have multiple stunt doubles do stuff because there was some, like, stuff he couldn't do because of how tight it was. And another fact about the movie is the scene where they filmed Axis Chemicals is the same place where they filmed a scene in Aliens. I'm not sure which that part is because I haven't seen Aliens yet. So I'll need to see what part of that movie it is. But that was pretty cool. And also, another fact, Jack Nicholson earned about a portion of the film's earnings, which, consider this movie made like 400 million, to say he earned a ton of money. And he also was like marketing and like billboards, etc., that he earned for that. So overall, didn't want to go too much in the plot because it was just a very simple, Batman and Joker story. But yeah, like, Batman 89 is my second favorite Batman movie of all time. Then my next video, my next review is, of course, gonna be Batman Returns, which, I mean, might as well not sugarcoat it. Batman Returns is my favorite Batman movie, but I'll be really glazing it when I get there. But yeah, Batman, great movie. Everyone, all the actors did great. Music was great. Plot was good. Set design, etc., was all great. Love this movie. My overall rating for the movie, I would give it a 9.5. 9.5 out of 10. And so, yeah, that's my Batman 1989 review. See ya.